Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Premier Injuries Update. It's your second of the day. The first video was recorded prior to the news that we've had two postponements from the Boxing Day fixtures. The first is the Watford game against Wolves. Now, Watford say that the players that were sidelined for the Crystal Palace game haven't recovered, and therefore they have insufficient numbers to fulfill that fixture. The second, that comes at Anfield, and that's at the request of their opponents, Leeds United. They have had 5 new positive tests, and they've closed Thorpe Arch, which is their training ground, for a deep clean. So that game is off. Just want to add that the Watford game against West Ham on the 28th of December is at this moment in time due to go ahead. Watford are expecting a lot of players who are currently self-isolating back in their squad. But sticking with COVID, one game that is still on is Burnley and Everton, although Rafa Benitez isn't very happy. He actually put a request into the Premier League to have that game postponed, but that was rejected. Now, Rafa says they had 5 new COVID cases following the game with Chelsea, and that's on top of their 6 injured players. Now, he says that he's not really sure if he's got 11 fully fit players, but included in that squad will be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He hasn't obviously played now for almost 4 months, and the concern would be throwing him back in, that there's a problem or a high risk of injury incidents. So that's one to watch. I would not be surprised if this was a late postponement, but that's just my own opinion, given the fact that, you know, the numbers that Rafa is working with. Elsewhere, some of the headliners from today's press conferences: Sean Dyche, Burnley sticking with that game. He spoke about the possibility of Maxwell Cornet returning to the matchday squad. I would say at this point it's highly unlikely, certainly for a start, on top of that muscle injury that he picked up at St. James's Park a few weeks back. He's also been battling with COVID. Now, he is on the training pitches. The symptoms of the virus weren't that severe, but obviously his rehab and his fitness has been heavily disrupted. So big question marks over his availability. Elsewhere, we've heard from Ralph Radnick, and he's spoken about his Manchester United squad. Now, the majority of those players have trained fully for the last 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and also today. The only player missing from that group was Paul Pogba. Now, we do know that he's carrying an injury and not due back until next year. He picked that up playing for France in the national team. So that means the likes of Rafael Varane, Edison Cavani, Victor Lindelof, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Nemanja Matic, Juan Mata, Anthony Martial, all of those players are in contention. So Ralph Rangnick said that, you know, in terms of fitness and how they've looked, they're all in and around that first team squad. So it's going to be a case of maybe having to leave out a few of those players, not because of any fitness related issues or injury, just purely because he's more or less got a full complement of players at his disposal. Elsewhere, Southampton, Ralph Hasenhüttl confirms that Shea Adams and also Stuart Armstrong are back in contention. That's hamstring and calf injuries, respectively. We were expecting Fraser Forster to be in and around the squad. He just missed out in game week 17. Don't know if there's been a little bit of a setback there or it's an oversight from Ralph Hasenhüttl, but those are the only 2 players that he mentioned are definitely back. That means Forster, Adam Armstrong, there's question marks. The only other injury that they have within the same squad is Alex McCarthy, and he's not due back until January. That would probably mean that Willy Caballero keeps his place between the sticks for the Saints. Chelsea, we mentioned in the first video that Romelu Lukaku and Callum Hudson-Odoi tested negative on their lateral flow test yesterday. They followed it up within 24 hours, and under new guidelines, you know, they can return if they submit a second lateral flow negative test, which they have done. So they rejoined the group in training today down at Cobham. Andreas Christensen was also there. He's missed the last couple with a back problem. Brentford, Thomas Frank, he spoke. It's obviously not a long time between that game and the Carabao Cup and today, but as it currently stands, he expects everybody that was involved in that Carabao Cup tie to be available. The one question mark that we've seen, Rico Henry was forced off with a hamstring-related issue. Now, we did say at the time that that was a precaution, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it turns out to be that way. And also, there were questions regarding Ivan Toney and whether he's fit enough to start. Thomas Frank says he thinks he will be. He really would like to start. Of course, he's coming off the back of COVID as well. Nobody else in that Brentford camp is expected to recover from injury. That means the likes of Matthias, Jorgensen, Christoph Ayer, Charlie Good, they're all sidelined with hamstring problems. Manchester City, Pep was in a pretty spiky mood on Thursday afternoon. Couple of questions that were directed to him that he wasn't really very forthcoming with and offered any clarity really on the update of the situation. The first up was the situation with regards to Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. Reports that their off-the-field actions had contributed to the fact that they were unused substitutes at Newcastle on Sunday. He said he would clarify the details, but not with reporters or in the media. That's something I'll deal with internally, so we're none the wiser with regards to that. And also the absence of Kyle Walker in recent times. We're not sure if that's illness related, COVID, or as some suggest, maybe a close friend has sadly passed. Now, when asked if Kyle Walker would be available, he said he wasn't fit for the Newcastle game. When that follow-up question for the reporter asked if he would return to face Leicester, Pep spikily said, did you not listen to my last answer? So we'll assume at this moment in time that Kyle Walker is also sidelined. That could mean that Zinchenko starts on the left without Cancelo on the right-hand side. And elsewhere from today's press conferences, that is pretty much it. We still have a few more to go. They're likely to come on Christmas Eve, on the morning before lunchtime. If there's anything major, we'll produce a video. If not, you can check out my feed at Ben Dinnery or the premierinjuries.com injury table. And obviously everything else will be covered in my predicted 11 and also my full 16 team preview as it currently stands with NBC Sports. So keep following. And if I don't get a chance to see you again, have a safe and happy Christmas, and we'll see you again very soon.